बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं
the Venerable Bhikkhus and Bhikkhunis, the Honorable, the leader of Buddhist organization and Buddhist society, distinguished audiences attending this important event, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. Good evening to all Venerable Bhikkhus and Bhikkhunis and respectable audiences reside in Eastern Time Zone, and good morning to all Venerable Bhikkhus and Bhikkhunis and honorable audiences reside in the Western Time Zone. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Upasaka Metapatma Megawati Santoso, one of disciple of Ayas at Vihara Wisma Kusalayani, Indonesia. In this blessing occasion, I am honored to be able to facilitate the program activities as moderator. Today, we all gather in this virtual gathering to express our highest gratitude to the Buddha who have taught us all the way to free ourselves from the suffering, and to other enlightenment teachers, especially her most venerable Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī, who have taught us her great perseverance to enter the monastic life and have lived fully in accord with the Bhikkhunis Patimokkha. She let us example that the great teaching of Buddha about loving kindness shows no differences on spiritual achievement based on gender. The path of enlightenment is the noble and eightfold path as taught by the Buddha is for all beings. At this time, let us celebrate her achievement and great example by following the program as an opportunity to reflect deeply on Buddha's teaching through the commemoration of the Parinibbāna, her highest venerable Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī, so that we can learn from the Buddha's enlightenment and apply to our own lives. As shown in the slide, we will start the program by paying homage to Buddha, refuge to the Triple Gem, three salutation, Tiwandana, Aga Sawika Wandana, led by the Venerable Bhikkhuni Santini Mahateri, the Chief Coordinator of UTBSI Dhamma Program. And the second one, it will be, we will look at the video of the life story, Venerable Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī Mahateri Apadana. And then we will continue Dhamma Desana, teaching the Dhamma, by the Venerable Bhikkhuni Sumangala. And then after that, we would like very kindly to have blessing from Bhikkhuni Sumangala for all who are present and also to share the merits of this inaugural assembly. And then finally, if there is, there could be any translation from English to Hindi, and then we will end the program. So please allow me to invite Her Venerable Bhikkhuni Santini Mahateri to start the chanting. Ayah, the time and the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you. Most venerable Bhikkhus and Bhikkhunis, my Dhamma sisters and Dhamma brothers, ladies and gentlemen, let's chant together. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami สุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามิหันดามายังบุตธัสสะภะคะวะโตปุมบะภะกะนามาการังกะโรมาเซนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะบุตตังสารนังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิอิติปิโสภะคะวะอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิจจารณะสัมปันโนสุขโตโลกวิดูอนุตตโรปุริสธัมมาสารถิสัทธาเดวมนุสสานังบุตโธภะคะวะติสวากขาโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมสันดิตถิโกอาคาลิโกเอหิปัสสิโกโอปานายิโกปัจจัตตังเวดิตัมโบวิญญูหิติสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆอุจุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆ ญายาปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสามีจิปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆยาดิดังจัตตาริปุริสายุกานิอัตถาปุริสาปุกกาลาเอสะภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆอาหุเนโยปาหุเนโยดักขิเนโยอัญจาลิการณิโยอนุตตรังปุญญเกตตังโลกัสสตินัตถิเมสารนังอัญญังบุญโธเมสารนังวารังเอเตนะสัจจวัจเจนะสดเทียเตโหตุสัพพดานัตถิเมสารนังอัญญังธัมโมเมสารนังวารังเอเตนะสัจจวัจเจนะสนทิเตโหตุสัพพดานัตถิเมสารนังอัญญังสังโฆเมสารนังวารังเอเตนะสัจจวัจเจนะสดเทียเตโหตุสัพพดารัตัญญูนังภิกขุนีนังโกตมิจินามาตุชาทาปิตาอังกัตถานัมหิสดาสดทิงการตุโนมหาปัญญานามังกัตถาเขมาเทรีติปากาตาสวิกาบุตถเศรษฐาสาสดาสดทิงการตุโนเทรีอุปปาลาวันนาจาอิทธิมันตินามุตตมาสวิกาบุตถเศรษฐาสาสดาสดทิงการตุโนสาธุสาธุสาธุ
Anumodana, Venerable Santini Mahateri, for leading us for chanting. So, the Venerable Bhikkhus and Bhikkhunis, the Honorable, the leader of Buddhist organization and Buddhist society, distinguished audiences attending this important event. Speaker for tonight is the Venerable Bhikkhuni Sumanggala, who will sharing with us about the heedful and peaceful Bhikkhunis and its contribution to the Buddhist society and the world today. Before I welcome the Venerable Bhikkhuni Sumanggala, please allow me to introduce her important contribution to the teaching and spreading the Buddha Dharma. Venerable Bhikkhuni Sumanggala graduated with the MA in the Industrial and Organizational Psychology from UKM at 1999, Malaysia. And she also bearing the Master of Arts in Buddhist Philosophy at International Buddhist College, Thailand in 2011. She renounced her corporate life as a branch manager and became an anagarika, living household life, since 2005 under the spiritual guidance of Venerable Bhikkhu Mahinda Mahathera, Malaysia, and Venerable Nadi Male Sumedha Madio from Sri Lanka. Subsequently, she took her pabaja, going forth as a novice nun in 2008. In 2015, she took her higher ordination or upasampada of Bhikkhuni, where Venerable Bhikkhuni Santini Mahateri, her Pawatini, the chief of Indonesia Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha, and Venerable Bhikkhu Sri Saranankara Nayaka Mahathera, the chief judiciary monk of Malaysia, her Upajaya or preceptor teacher. Currently, Venerable is the abbess of the Arya Vihara and the spiritual advisor of Gotamī Vihara Society. She is invited to deliver Dhamma talks in various Buddhist societies and conferences, conduct meditation retreats in Malaysia and abroad. This is her contribution for Dhamma teaching. She conduct Dhamma education for family, uniquely designed as ARK program, Arya Family, Youth and Children Camps. And then she also doing some seminary novitiate program, metta and mindfulness workshop, compassion in action projects and education for the needy, pilgrimage to the Buddha holy sites, and individual and family counseling. And she has many more of the activities regarding this Dhamma teaching. In 2019, she has pioneered the Arya Monastic and Laity Training Program, one of the first Theravada Bhikkhuni and Laity Development Program in Malaysia to nurture potential Dhamma leader, noble practitioner, and Bhikkhuni Sangha in Malaysia. At present, she is also leading a building project team and invite our supporters to donate and build the new Arya Vihara at Kuasa Damansara, the first Malaysian Theravada Bhikkhuni Nunnery and Dhamma Training Center, scheduled for construction in 2023 for the well-being, happiness, and benefit of many. So the tag that she always taught us is living skillfully by the Dhamma. So please allow me to invite the Venerable Bhikkhuni Sumanggala to start the Dhamma Desana. Ayah, the time and stage is yours, please. Meanwhile, the organizing committee start the slide. I also would like to remind distinguished audiences attending this important event who may have questions to post it in the chat box of UTBSI in this Zoom meeting. Thank you. Please, Venerable, the time and stage is yours.
Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī Theri Apadana.
Once, the light of the world, the charioteer of men, was dwelling in the good hall of Kutagara in the great wood at Vesali. At that time, Bhikkhuni Gotamī, the aunt of the conqueror, lived there in the delightful town in a residence for bhikkhunis built there. With the 500 bhikkhunis who were free, being alone, she reflected thus in her mind.
I shall not be able to see the final quenching of the Buddha, or of the two chief disciples Sariputta and Mahamoggallana, or of Rahula, Ananda, or Nanda. Before giving up the life-forming elements and final peace, may I go to the protector of the world, the great sage, for permission.
The 500 bhikkhunis reflected in the same way. With Kema at their head, they reflected thus. At that time, there was an earthquake and thundering of the drum of the Devas. The Devatas in their own abodes were oppressed with grief. Lamenting very pitifully, their tears poured forth there. They went up to Gotamī with her friends the bhikkhunis. The bhikkhunis fell down headfirst at her feet and spoke these words.
O noble lady, sprinkled with drops of water, there you were alone. The earth together with its mountains trembled. The thundering of the drums of the Devas is to be heard. What does it mean, O Gotamī?
Then she explained everything, just as she had thought it over, and they all explained just as they had thought it over.
O noble lady, if acquiring final quenching is pleasing to you, with the Buddha's permission, devoutly we will all be quenched. We departed from home and birth together. So as friends we will go to quenching, the supreme place.
What shall I say concerning going to quenching?
Then all of them together left the bhikkhuni dwelling.
May the Devatas inhabiting the monastery of the Bhikkhunis forgive me. This is my last look at the Bhikkhunis' dwelling. What if I were to go to the unconditioned, where there is no old age, no death, no association with the unpleasant, nor separation from what is dear?
Hearing her words, those not free from passion, those legitimate heirs of the Sublime One, were afflicted by grief and lamented.
Alas, our merit is small. The dwelling of the Bhikkhunis has become empty without them. These legitimate offsprings of the conqueror, who are like stars at dawn, are not to be seen. Gotamī is going to quenching together with the 500 bhikkhunis, just as the Ganges goes to the ocean with 500 rivers.
Seeing them going along the road, faithful women lay followers came out of their houses, fell down at their feet, and said thus,
Oh, you of great wealth, be reconciled with us. Do not abandon us without a protector. Do not be intent on being quenched.
Gotamī spoke a sweet speech in order to eliminate their grief.
Enough of your crying, children. Today is a time of joy for you. I have comprehended misery. Abandoning the cause of misery, cessation has been realized by me, and the path has been properly developed.
So good evening, most venerable Bhikkhu and Bhikkhunis, and Dhamma brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. So thank you all very much for coming together to learn and share the Dhamma, and also to commemorate this particular event. And we shall start by paying our homage again to our great leaders, our teacher, the great Supreme Enlightened One, the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha, and also salutation to the great elder leader, Venerable Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī, Mahāperi. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So today, we would like to continue our learning of the Dhamma, where from the day one, we learn about making good aspiration, and also the association with the right people, with the Sangha and with the Buddha. And day two also, we also continue to learn that the practicing of virtue is very important in our development of our mind. And today we would like to take you through on the topic of heedful and peaceful bhikkhunis, yeah? Basically for everyone, on heedfulness and peacefulness in mind. So what is heedful, yeah? So heedful means aware of, or mindful, yeah, and attentive to. So we learn actually from the Buddha, yeah? The Buddha is actually very heedful of his noble search, and also his direct knowledge and wisdom, and the Dhamma mission that he has in mind. So with that, the Buddha actually state on his going forth, yeah, how he started his journey in the Dhamma, in discovering the Dhamma or discovering the ultimate truth. And what is the reason behind that? So the Buddha mentioned, yeah, one with vision chose to go forth. So it is with vision, yeah, that one chooses to go forth. Household life is crowded, a realm of dust, while going forth is the open air. So the simile of comparison is that household life is crowded, a realm of dust, while going forth is the open air. I think we can feel this environment when we have this COVID-19, then everybody have to be restricted from going out and being in the house. And so a lot of people feel very stuffy at home, not because of anything, but because their mind is actually cluttered and clouded with that kind of untrained mind. They feel being confined in one area is very suffocating. But while going forth is open air. So in this term 2, although the same thing, the monastic also have to stay at home or stay in monastery, but their feeling is very different. Yeah, it's like an open air. So what the Buddha mentioned here is this: seeing this, he went forth. On going forth, he avoided evil deeds in body, abandoning verbal misconduct. He purified his livelihood. So next, the Buddha actually continue. What are the things that he is practicing? Well restrained, his sense doors guarded, mindful, alert. The sage, after arms round, left the city to Mount Pandava, sits like a tiger, a bull, a lion in a mountain cleft. So meaning actually the Buddha having get his offering of food will actually leave the city and reside in the mountain or jungle and continue to practice his meditation. So the King Bimbisara, who saw this, actually offered to him great wealth, even his country's wealth, and asked him to enjoy it. And he asked about where about that the Buddha has come from, And the Buddha answered, and this is where we know, where the Buddha actually come from, and the Buddha is actually coming from the foothills of the Himalayas, a country consummate in energy and wealth. So it's also a very wealthy place, inhabited by Kosalans. Sola by clan, Sakyan by birth. From that lineage I have gone forth, but not in search of sensual pleasures. Seeing the danger in sensual pleasures and renunciation as rest, I go to strive. That's where my heart delights. So in going forth, in practicing even at home, the importance is to see the danger in sensual pleasures and making the effort to renounce sensual pleasure so that we can strive to find the heart delights. So finally, after the noble search in Uruvela, where is today's Bodh in India, determined very strongly under the Bodhi tree, the Buddha finally achieved his mission of discovering the truth, the Dhamma, and he found the three knowledges, the cooling off of all ignorance and defilements, that is Nibbāna. So what else actually that we can learn from the Buddha? First is his noble search. Second, actually the Buddha also have his mission of the Buddha Sasana through the Sangha. And the Buddha actually went to teach his 5 friends. And with that diligence of the listening to the Buddha and following his teaching and practice, the 5 ascetics also realized the truth, the ultimate truth. And after that, the Buddha also teach to Yasa and his 54 friends, and also to Yasa's father and mother and the wife. And all this have actually started the Sangha of the Bhikkhus, where 60 Arahants was actually forming the Sangha, and also the Upasaka and Upasikas. So what the Buddha has in mind is to send this to teach the Dhamma that he has discovered. And he said, go forth, O Bhikkhus, for the good of the many, for the happiness of the many, out of compassion for the world, for the good benefit, happiness of gods and men. Let no two go by one way. Preach, O Bhikkhus, the Dhamma, excellent in the beginning excellent in the middle, excellent in the end, both in the spirit and in the letter. Proclaim the holy life, altogether perfect and pure in all directions. Here we can see that for the practice, for those who have gone forth, it is not just for own cultivation, but the Buddha has told them, to out of compassion for others, to actually preach the Dhamma, which is beautiful in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end, and also become a real role model in spirit and in letter, and proclaim the holy life that is perfect and pure, means in all directions. Then, why is it so? Because the Buddha said, next, there are beings with little dust in their eyes who, not hearing the Dhamma, will fall away. There will be those who understand the Dhamma. So free am I, O bhikkhus, from all bonds, whether divine or human, you too. I too will go to Uruvela to preach the Dhamma. Hoist the flag of the sage, preach the sublime Dhamma, work for the good of others, you who have done your duties. So even though the Buddha has actually accomplished his mission of discovering the truth, his mission of developing the Sangha, but the Buddha too, for 45 years, continued to be heedful in preaching the Dhamma for the well-being of the many. And he also encouraged his Sangha to also preach the Dhamma for the well-being of the many. So the reason and goal of going forth, the Sangha and prolongation of Buddha Sasana. But is there obstacle to go forth? Or is there obstacle after going forth? Even going forth as a bhikkhu, it's so important. One with vision, one should have a vision like the Buddha. Also have initiative, determination, training, and striving heedfully and persistently for the realization of the ultimate goal of liberation. And from there, they also strengthening the Sangha and spreading the Dhamma. So these are practice, which is important in our cultivation, whether in our monastic life, especially this, and also in our lay life. It's also important for us to have this kind of qualities for our good practice if we really wish to be happy and to have freedom in our life, to be free from all kinds of suffering. So here we'd like to share with you, for the Buddha, when he went forth, he also strive for 6 years before his enlightenment. And is it easy to go forth or to even become a bhikkhu? Here I'd like to share with you Majjhima Nikaya 82, Rattapala Sutta. Even as a man in their quest for enlightenment, what did they go through? We can also see from the time of the 60 Arahants to later part of the Sasana. In this sutta, Rattapala actually heard the Dhamma from the Buddha in one assembly, in the country of Kuru. Kuru is basically around Delhi, and then he is actually one of the chieftain's son. So having heard the teaching of the Dhamma from the Buddha, Rattapala said, as I understand the Dhamma taught by the Blessed One, it's not easy while living in a home to lead the holy life, utterly perfect and pure as a polished shell. Suppose I shave off my hair and beard, put on the yellow robe, and go forth from the home life into homelessness. So having thought so, after the Dhamma has inspired the assembly, when everyone left, then he approached the Buddha. And is there any challenges for him to go forth? Yeah. So first, when he approached the Buddha, that he wished to go forth. Yeah, because after hearing the Buddha's teaching, and he knows that it is much better to accomplish his vision through going forth. When he asked the Buddha said, have you get permission from your parents? Yeah, and so you see, even to actually go forth during that time, they have to seek permission from the Buddha. And also later, after asking, when the Buddha answered, yeah, have you get permission from your parents? He said, I have not. Then the Buddha said that Tathagata did not give ordination for those who didn't seek permission from the parents. So the Ratthapala told the Buddha that he will seek permission from the parents. But when he seek permission from the parents, what did the parents respond? The parents say, dear Ratthapala, you are our only son, dear and beloved. You have been raised in comfort, brought in comfort. You know nothing of suffering. Dear Ratthapala, even in case of your death, we would lose you unwillingly. So how could we give you our permission to go forth from the home life into homelessness while you're still living? So here we can see actually, even to go forth as a monk or as a bhikkhu, it is not as we see as so easy. Yeah? There are certain guidelines for going forth, and also for showing their determination. Yeah? So what happened to Ratthapala? Because the parents did not wish that he should be given the permission because of their attachment. And Ratthapala actually make that decision, that since he has made the decision to go forth to attain what is unattainable, or to attain what is attainable when he go forth, then he make the choice of fasting and telling the parents, if the parents do not give the permission, give him the permission, he would rather actually, let go his life. Because why? If in this life he's not able to do that, he didn't see any purpose of his life. Yeah. So, but anyway, the parents was refusing him. And so after some days, the parents get a little bit worried. And the parents also approached his friends to convince him. And when the friends came and see him to advise him, he also did not show that he loses determination, because his goal is very clear after understanding the Dhamma from the Buddha. So the friends knew that he's continued to be determined in his pursuit. And the friend told the mother and father that it is better that the parents allow him to go forth. And that will be a better choice, because if they do not, he may die out of starvation. But if they allow him to go forth, then at least he would be able to try out his going forth. And if he's unable to sustain his going forth, he may at least come back. So that will be a better choice. Yeah. And then finally the parents allowed him to go forth. And after he has gone forth, he has practiced heedfully under the guidance of the Buddha, and they proceed to Jetavana Grove, and he practiced there. And after his attainment of liberation, he asked permission from the Buddha to visit his parents, because that was the condition that they gave him. So he went back after his long time practicing. And so after his going forth enlightenment, when he went back to his place, his home, passing by as a monk, But when his father saw the Venerable Ratthapala coming in the distance, he couldn't recognize him. So not knowing, he said, he still harbored that kind of anger or resistance. Yeah? And he said, by looking at the Ratthapala, in his mind, he was having this thought. Yeah? He was looking at the monk and thinking, our only son, he said, dear and beloved, was made to go forth by these bald-pated recluses. Even during that time, the Buddha has started the sasana, there are still a lot of Brahmins who are not very happy because a lot of their, some of the Brahmins and their son has actually understood the Dhamma and went forth. So this Bhikkhu Ratthapala's father was also rich and high caste in that sense. And so he was not very happy with this. So they always not call them as a bhikkhu, but they will call them bald-pated recluses. So then at his own father's house, actually the Venerable Ratthapala received neither alms nor a polite refusal. Instead, he received only abuse. So even an Arahant came to the house or passed by, his father, mother, and former wife still not able to learn the Dhamma to him. They actually invited him finally. After he passed by, he got some porridge, which is going to be thrown away by a slave woman of his relative. He got his meal on that day with a porridge that the slave woman wants to throw away. And finally, the slave woman actually can recognize him and told the parents. So what happened is that then the parents invited him to finally come to the house to offer him the alms. But unfortunately, in their mind, they still think of luring him to come back, to forego his bhikkhuship. But of course, to no avail. And he told them that he didn't go forth because of sensual pleasure, because of wealth. And also for his former wife, he didn't go forth because of beautiful name. He go forth for the ultimate goal for liberation. Why? Because it is through the understanding of that this body of us is actually not stable. And it is also, this body is without a shelter and protection. And this body of us is also insatiable, and can't be protected just the way we want. And there's no ownership on this body. And so it is due to that, that he advised the parents and the family, but they still could not receive the Dhamma. So we can see that for the going forth and for the reaching out to people, the practice of heedfulness is important, and the understanding of the Dhamma and to free oneself from the sensual pleasure is a very important practice. And now we go to the bhikkhuni. How about the bhikkhuni? So 5 years later, after the Buddha's enlightenment, so we hear the story from day 1 and day 2 that the Venerable Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī, Mahāperi, actually was a queen. And when he learned the Dhamma from the Buddha, she was also convinced to go forth. And we can see that by going forth and finally, accepted into the Sangha, then the bhikkhuni, the bhikkhu Sangha, and the upasaka and upasika, the fourfold assembly was fully established. By her sheer determination, initiative, and showing her persistency in her sincerity and faith in the Buddha Dhamma, And in the Sangha, we can see that because of a conviction, a strong faith, that many of us have benefited from this initiative. And again, if we reflect on the reason and goal of going forth, and for the Sangha and prolongation of Buddha's Sasana, for the Bhikkhuni, is there obstacle to go forth? Is there obstacle after going forth? So going forth as a Bhikkhuni, we also go through or have the same kind of strive. We should have also a vision, and why we want to go forth. We should also have initiative. You cannot be sitting down there and say, I want to go forth and do nothing. And we also have to have determination, and also the threefold training. We also have to strive faithfully and to realize the ultimate goal of going forth and Nibbana. And also in our journey to also strengthening the Sangha and spreading the Dhamma. So indeed, we know that the Buddha empowered the senior bhikkhu monk, Mahāteras, to ordain the bhikkhu. The Buddha used to say that, the teacher do not have a feast, but what the Buddha has empowered is his senior bhikkhu monk, Mahāteras, to ordain the bhikkhu. And the Buddha also empowered the senior bhikkhu monk, Mahāteras, to ordain bhikkhuni nun, and according to the Chulabhagga. This is where that we can see that is how the Buddha Sasana can continue to grow for a long, long time. As for the Bhikkhuni, the Bhikkhuna Sangha will continue to exist, continue to prolong as long as there are Bhikkhu Sangha, because the ordination comes from the senior bhikkhu for their ordination. So this is where the Buddha is so wise and compassionate, and for his mission of this Dhamma, for the mission of the Sangha, and also for the mission of his four assembly. So we can see that early Bhikkhuni nuns recount their strife and accomplishments along the road to arahantship. So there are many stories in the Therigatha telling us how they strive and accomplish their vision through the training and through going forth. And this is a very straightforward platform for them to really put down all the matters about the world and to focus in their practice and also the deliverance. So their stories are told with open, heartbreaking honesty and beauty, revealing the deeply human side of these extraordinary women, and thus serve as inspiring reminders of our own potential to follow in their footsteps. For example, we know that Venerable Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī is a foremost in the long-standing as an elder. And you can imagine, when she go forth, if she live 120 years, meaning 40 years before, after the Buddha, 45 years the Buddha preached, and you minus the 5 years means 40 years. So meaning she's already 70 plus to 80 years old, and at that time, and such an determination in this particular age, she still are so determined. And can you imagine, they walk all the way from Kapilavastu to Vaisali, and we can see that strong determination, her own quality as a virtuous mother, virtuous queen, and also her sincere initiative and her persistence and her cultivation, the heedfulness in the learning and practicing, and the respect, the utmost respect to the Buddha and the bhikkhus, and waiting for her timely admission as a bhikkhuni. And these are very extraordinary women. If you travel to India for pilgrimage, you will also see that how far it is, yeah, even taking a bus, yeah. And so the greatness of these women folk at that time is really a very great inspiration for all of us, and also to all those foremost bhikkhus and bhikkhunis in wisdom, and also in the spiritual power, like Venerable Kema Mahāteri and also Venerable Upalabhana Mahāteri. We can see that women are empowered to also develop their mind. And during that time, the Buddha is a great leader, yeah, to allow and to show that in humanity, as a human, manusa, we can develop our mind. And the Buddha has actually cast off, yeah, all the stigma on the caste, on the status, on gender, on tradition, by allowing, yeah, and training of the Bhikkhuni Sangha. And in this, yeah, we can continue to be inspired by how the Buddha accomplished his mission and accomplish his mission of the Sangha, and to continue to bring forth this Buddha Dhamma and Sasana for the well-being, happiness, and benefit of the many, by becoming a role model and by encouraging his own Mahatheras and Mahatheris to become good role models of the society for the ultimate liberation one day. Yeah? So today, the Bhikkhuni nuns too are going through the same strife towards the goal of going forth. Yeah? And in our modern time, yeah, what we are going through is also both, yeah, balancing between spiritual cultivation and living in accordance to the Dhamma, and on the other end, performing our duties to share the Dhamma and to prolong the Buddha Sasana. Indeed, we'd like to highlight again and again the revival of Bhikkhuni Sangha in 1996 and 1998 is a tribute, yeah, to the Buddha, as we have not forgotten his teaching, yeah, and also to the Sangha, yeah, as he has started 2,600 years ago, and to the Bhikkhuni Sangha. And today, one of the days that we commemorate Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī Mahāteri's Parinibbāna Day, we happily, yeah, recall to mind all this great leader of the Dhamma, and to also attribute to the Fourfold Assembly, where the Fourfold Assembly is complete to continue to bring forth this Dhamma to the many. And finally, also a tribute to humanity, because in the Dhamma, there's no discrimination. And humanity is one that we learned to be humane for the goal of liberation. So today, what we have experienced, yeah, we see that there are so many changes. They were talking about our surrounding. So in the past, we can have, you know, we see the kind of setting of forest dwelling and town park dwelling, yeah, in those wana, where the monks and nuns reside. But in our world, we see a lot of concrete forests. And today, we also are in the internet forest. So things are changing, means of communication, of learning are changing. But what is great is that the Dhamma is still timeless for those who are wise to see for themselves. And indeed, the Buddha mentioned, yeah, in our cultivation of virtues, yeah, we may do merits in dana, in cultivating the virtues. Also, we can take refuge in the triple gem and continue to lead a higher virtue. We can practice the virtue of the 5 precepts, the 8 precepts, and also the monastic precepts when they go forth. And indeed, yeah, all these are still being practiced, and it leads us to also develop our mind, and the goal of the cultivation is still clear for the realization of liberation. So this Dhamma is not just for anyone, this Dhamma is for those who are wise to see for themselves. Meaning not only we are learning, but we have to put into practice, and we have to also practice it fully to realize the truth. So now we would like to show or share with you the initiative in Malaysia in our modern era after the revival of the Bhikkhuni Sangha. Indeed, our late chief, K. Sri Dhammananda Mahathera, who has passed away many years ago, have shown the path for us in Malaysia to have this opportunity to get contact and to understand the development of the Bhikkhuni Sangha. So in year 2003, the late Venerable has actually organized a temporary seminary program. And from there, we get a lot of inspiration. And in Malaysia, then the initiative, although it's not big initiative, but this initiative is significant in the development of Bhikkhuni Sangha in Malaysia. And we are still on the baby step, but nevertheless, we are glad that all the Mahatheris around the world, and we are thankful to actually all our Mahatheris that were in also this United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha International, to Ayah Santini, to Ayah Dhammananda, Ayah Liupap, Ayah Bodhicitta, and many more other nuns who have come to inspire us in Malaysia. So please do have some idea and our small initiative so that all of us will be able to see the growth of the Bhikkhuni Sangha in the world from the eyes of Malaysia. So may we have the video, please?
The life I chose had refused to shine. You revealed the truth from beyond all space and time. You had me come to see the Noble Eightfold Way. It's now my home, it is where I'm staying today.
I can see you now, though you've gone away, 'cause I've come to know you through the Dharma that you gave. I'll radiate my thoughts of gratitude to you. I'm living by the truth, and I'm grateful that you showed me the way. In your wisdom and compassion lies the path that you paved. When I look into your deeds and words, I see you again. You have really cared for me. You showed me the way. On this path to joy and freedom, I can heal and be brave. I'm practicing the Dharma that you taught me. Now my life shines so brightly. When I hear your words, I'm truly happy. Thankful that you showed me the way.
Now I walk the world through the middle way. You have often taught me to be mindful every day. I'm honoring your deeds by practicing the truth, enjoying what I do and I'm grateful that you showed me the way. In your wisdom and compassion lies the path that you paved. When I look into your deeds and words, I see you again. You have really cared for me. You showed me the way. On this path to joy and freedom, I can heal and be brave. I'm practicing the Dharma that you
taught me. Now my life shines so brightly.
When I hear your words, I'm truly happy. Thankful that you showed me the way.
The Buddha can tell you what to do and what not to do for you to find out your salvation. I cannot give this salvation to you. You have to work for that. But Buddha can tell how to do that. So we cannot expect our salvation from another person by worshipping or praying or offering or doing anything. We have to work for that.
Thankful that you showed me the way. Thankful that you showed me the way.
Oh, thank you, the Venerable Bhikkhuni.
Arya Vihara is where generosity, morality, samadhi, wisdom, and awakening continue to be developed and realized for everyone's well-being and benefits. Arya Vihara was established on the 10th of August 2015, and currently we are operating from the shop lot at Bandar Sri Damansara. Arya Vihara means noble abode, a place of spiritual cultivation for the monastic and devotees to progress in the Dhamma. In November 2019, Arya Vihara was very fortunate to be granted a piece of land of 0.45 acre, Aribi land from the state government. And we dedicate this piece of land for the construction of the first Malaysian Theravada Bhikkhuni Nandari and a Dhamma training center for families. I was inspired by the late Chief Venerable K. Sri Dhammananda Nayaka Mahathera to lead and to develop a Bhikkhuni center for the training of Bhikkhuni Sangha. He said, a car with 4 wheels will be more stable and can run faster compared to a 3-wheeler. So too, the 4 assemblies, the Bhikkhu Sangha, the Bhikkhuni Sangha, Upasakas and Upasikas will make the Buddha Sasana continue to be more stable and can progress further. However, as he was very old, he said, someone has to take the lead to construct a Bhikkhuni center and to provide a good, proper training program for the nuns. Then the Bhikkhuni Sangha will flourish for the well-being, for the happiness, and for the benefit of the many. At Arya Vihara, we provide many Dhamma programs for Dana, Sila, and Bhavana to be cultivated. with all this offering of compassion to the society, we also hope that this will help more people to be well and happy, and may they too be able to help themselves. And once they are able to help themselves, they are also helping others. Thank you. All right, so that's some introduction and initiative of what we have done in Malaysia to honor the founder of this truth, to the Buddha, to the Sangha, and to the Four Assembly, and especially in commemoration of Venerable Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī Mahatheri's Parinibbāna Day. May we all, human folk, will be able to walk this path to help ourselves, to attain what is attainable. So the next, we'd like to also share with you on would there be any challenges to us still as we move on to this particular journey? So we can see that in the past, the Buddha also cautioned us, because as we practice and as we develop our mind, we need to continue to be heedful. So if they are not heedful, then the person in training will still have flaws unless he or she realize the Four Noble Truths and the Four Noble Frictions. So here we can see that during the Buddha's time, there are also a time where the monastic is having misunderstanding on the Dhamma and the Vinaya. And disagreement can happen, but the Buddha cautioned them and remind them that people other than the wise do not realize. We in this world must all die, and not realizing it, continue their quarrels. So the wise realize it, and thereby their quarrels cease. So indeed, it's so important to thrive the Dhamma or the Sangha in harmony and with understanding and with the goal of cultivation in mind. And so next, so practicing and living peacefully, we can see that the Bhikkhuni Sangha during the Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī and the 500 founding Arahants show us the way of living and practicing in peace as Bhikkhuni Sangha. And I think today we also are united in one way as a Bhikkhunis International to come together, to support each other, to encourage each other, to remind each other on our path, and at the same time to serve the society. The Mahāpajāpatī Sutta also reassures us that the Buddha was very pleased with the Bhikkhuni Sangha, where when he was asked, does actually the Bhikkhunis realize the undefiled freedom of heart and freedom by wisdom in this very life, and leaves having realized it with their own insight due to the ending of defilements? And the Buddha answered, not only 100, not only 500, but there are more than that. And the Vajragota was very pleased, and think with this, he said, the Buddha actually Sasana is actually very complete. Not only the Buddha is accomplished, the Bhikkhu Sangha also accomplished, Bhikkhuni Sangha also accomplished, the Upasakas and Upasikas also can accomplish, the male and female householder who take refuge in the Triple Gem and practice the Dhamma also can accomplish. So because of that, the harmony, the accomplishment of this Sasana, the Vajragota actually joined the Sangha. Although it's from a different sect, and the Buddha said, they have to go on probation on 4 months. But he said, even if 4 years, he's willing to be trained by this Sasana from the Buddha. Right? So it's so important that the Four Assembly be heedful in their cultivation, be a great example in their attainment, and also being a role model for more people to come into the Dhamma and to benefit from this beautiful Dhamma, which is excellent in the beginning, excellent in the middle, and excellent in the end. So how can we practice in living in peace? This is quite a famous sutta which is always quoted. And Venerable Gotamī Mahāpajāpatī actually asked the Buddha, how to actually cultivate, and because there are so many rules in place, and the Buddha said, in a simple way, he said, Gotamī, those qualities of which you would know, this quality lead to dispassion, not passion, to being unfettered, not fettered, to getting rid of, not heaping up, to few wishes, not many wishes, to contentment, not discontentment, to seclusion, not socializing, to arousal of energy, not laziness, to being easy to support, not hard to support. So you may definitely hold this is Dhamma, this is the Vinaya, and this is the teaching of the Buddha. So in a nutshell, the cultivation is for all, not only for bhikkhunis, but for all to grow in the Dhamma. So here, we can see the word, this is the Dhamma, this is the Vinaya. So what is the meaning here? Dhamma is that which uphold one from falling into woeful or suffering state. Vinaya means to lead away, from defilement. So the Buddha showed the way, our great teacher and role model. So when we practice the Vinaya, meaning where we are practicing to lead away from defilements, from greed, hatred, delusion, from the unwholesome actions, and from all the things, So this is the way that we practice the Dhamma Vinaya. And for the understanding of the word Garu Dhamma, yesterday, when Brother Dhammadanda has kindly shared with us in detail, the Garu Dhamma, sometimes is misunderstood, as Garuka Dhamma, Garu Dhamma, and there are two meanings from the Pali. One is called heavy and serious offense, but in reality, the meaning of this word Garu Dhamma is code of respect or honor. And indeed, whether bhikkhu, bhikkhuni, upasaka, upasika, the fourfold assembly, when they are in reverence of each other, this is where we say the blessings to those who are worthy of honor. Then when we offer the honor, then this will bring blessings to one and to the Sangha and to the community at the whole. So this is also a very important understanding that we get the meaning right. And next, at the end of the day, how can we cultivate the noble attainment? Again, in peaceful way, the first thing is for ourselves to associate with the wise, meaning one with integrity, whether it's monastic or whether it's a lay person. So a Kalyana Mitta is a very important aspect of our heedful cultivation and peaceful cultivation. The Buddha said, by taking the Buddha as a Kalyana Mitta, then we will be able to be led to walk the Noble Eightfold Path. And by walking this Noble Eightfold Path, this is where that we will be able to be free from, the cycle of birth, aging, death, and to be free from sorrow, lamentation, pain, and despair. So the right association is very important. And also the second is to listen to the true Dhamma. So now in the internet, we have so many, teaching. So we have to also be wise to listen to the true Dhamma. The Dhamma that help us to uplift our mind from falling into suffering. And having listened to the Dhamma, then we should investigate into the Dhamma and also to discover the meaning and putting it into the practice. So we have to have also appropriate attention in cultivation of our virtue and also of our mind, so that the goal of the Dhamma, the goal of liberation is always in mind. And the last part, of course, to put into practice the Dhamma in accordance with the Dhamma. So it's so important for us to do this. I still remember at one time a devotee told me, he has been studying the sutta, associating with good friends who study the sutta together. But he told me that having learned all these things, one thing he has missed, because when he came for our retreat, he shared with me that, he has missed one part that is called practicing Dhamma in accordance with the Dhamma. Meaning, you may have a lot of information about the Dhamma, you may be discussing a lot about the Dhamma, but if you don't put it into practice, then we are not actually heedful, in the Dhamma. So it's so important to practice the Dhamma in accordance with the Dhamma. So then we will see that our heedful practice will lead us to a peaceful discovering of the Dhamma, and finally we will realize the ultimate Dhamma. So with this, I would like to conclude that we are so grateful, and today we can still recall to mind and follow the way of the Buddha. And indeed, we are in a very good era. And it is said in Dhammapada, verse number 194, happy is the birth of Buddhas. We are in this era. Happy is the teaching of the sublime Dhamma. We also still can get the true Dhamma. Third, happy is the unity of the Sangha. So we still have this Sangha. Imagine one day there's no more Sangha. But we are happy because still we have the Sangha, and even have more happy when the Sangha is united. And the last part, happy is the discipline of the united ones. Means they keep their practicing their Dhamma Vinaya well, so as to inspire and get inspiration for the realization of Nibbana. And for all those who have no faith, they will have faith in the Dhamma, the Buddha Sasana. And for those who already have faith, they will have greater faith. And this will encourage more and more people there to embrace the Dhamma for their well-being, for their happiness, and for their benefit. And last but not least, we are grateful for all your attention in this Dhamma program. And we wish that may all beings be well, safe, and peaceful, and strive on heedfully towards Nibbana. Thank you very much.
Thank you, the Venerable Bhikkhuni Sumanggala, for the Dhamma sharing. Now we can continue to the question and answer session. I also would like to remind distinguished audience attending this important event who may have questions to post it in the chat box of UTBSI in this Zoom meeting. Thank you. So, Venerable, we have actually a question coming. Let me check first. So the first one is coming from Mr. or Mrs. Ang. Such a dilemma to get permission from parents. Isn't it what Ratapala did was like threatening his parents? Is it like that or not? Would it be better to go forth after the passing away of parents who probably don't agree that the children would like to go forth, or do some monks or nuns or probably following some monks or nuns that did go forward without letting know the parents, and then they will let the parents know after several years or several period times that the children go forth. Would you kindly give us some explanation for that, Venerable. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu, and thank you for asking this question from Brother Ang. When we look at Venerable Ratapala's case, yeah, we can see actually his determination and the requirement for him to get the permission. Yeah, so of course, for him at that time, that is the only way he sees that even if he live a life with a family, he will not be able to be free from this cycle of suffering. Yeah, so with that strong understanding of the Dhamma, and also with his determination to see that the way out, yeah, that is the only way out, yeah, to overcome all kinds of suffering, where of course his family do not see. But the question is this: how, yeah, can we? Because permission is good to be sought from. But of course, like in my case, let's say I share with you, when I told my parents about my going forth, just spontaneously before I go off, yeah, my parents, of course, got shocked, yeah, my mother, yeah, but anyway, after that, I do share with her, and gradually, she finally also understood, yeah, and I waited for some years, and so after 4 years, she finally able to. I think parents sometimes, you know, because of peer pressure, family pressure, or relative pressure, yeah, when they ask why your children go forth, yeah. So, but at that time, my mother is able, yeah, to see, you know, the cycle of suffering. And one day she was sick, and I was not married, the one that is single in the house at the time, and I took care of her. And finally, she can see that, and she said to me, you know, luckily you don't get married, yeah, because at the time when you're in need, yeah, when you suffer, those people around you will be the one that you find you're grateful to, yeah. But at the end, I think he realized after showing her the Dhamma way, sharing with her, and after 4 years of the intention, and she finally can tell neighbors or, you know, relatives that that she sees that I will one day go forth, yeah. But having said my idea of going forth, it took me about 9 years to prepare myself and to prepare my family. And finally, when I go forth, it will be very interesting. My mother only asked me because I told her I'll be going off at the age of 45. But I actually decided after going pilgrimage to India, getting the inspiration connection, I decided finally I go forth at the age of 39. So the only question my mother asked is, I thought you want to go forth at the age 45. Then I told her if I go forth earlier, then by the time I'm 45, I think I will accomplish a lot of spiritual development already, right? And so that is only that question. And after that, she was okay with it. And because my mother was all right with it, my father was also all right with it. So the day I go forth, just to start my journey as an anagarika, as an 8 preceptor in Sri Lanka, my mother still gave me a red packet to wish me that, you know, I become a good nun. So I rejoice, and I think I have a blessings. And I probably I think, maybe in my past life, I have been wishing that my parents is the one who will also give me to go for, yeah, this journey. And so for those who have maybe some difficulty, I think the most important thing is for us to cultivate our mind that our parents are confident with us, yeah, and it's not just sheer how to say it, a wish, yeah, but I think the sincerity, our virtues, our quality that inspire them, yeah, that this journey that we are taking is not just because we are, you know, having some problem or escapism or whatever, you see. I renounced at the peak of my actually working career, yeah, and I have a double master, but then, you know, that's not what you know it is. But mainly is because as a person, as a daughter, as a family members, as a sibling, as a leader in the company, as a, a contributor to society, even the Buddhist society. I think if we can lead our life in a very virtuous way, then we will bring a lot of confidence to our parents. So I think wait for your time. You do not have to rush. And many people ask me, why do I become a monk, become a nun? I always tell them, cultivate your mind, not because you want to become, but you'll be one, right? It's natural, yeah, the renunciation, so that when you want to become, then that is very hard, yeah. But you have to cultivate, and when it's time come, naturally, you will be able to do so, yeah. But of course, some parents at the beginning, maybe they could not understand, yeah. But if they are able to be told on if the person is very determined, so they can always lead them to see the preceptor teacher or whoever, yeah, so that the worries are being taken off. Then they will be confident to allow them to go. Yeah. For example, like my mom the other time said, if you go forth, then if one day nobody offer you food, then how? If you're staying in the jungle, there are tigers. So parents are worried. Yeah, they are worried that their child will be harmed, and all those things. Yeah. But then what I did during one Katina, I brought her to the place near the jungle. And then during Katina, there's so much food offered. Yeah, there are so many monks, and the environment is secure. So, so that can take out their, what you call worry. And the interesting part is that he met the abbot's father. And from a father of a monk, this is a testimonial from parents to parent. Yeah. So I think they also feel convinced that children who go forth is for good. Yeah. Children who go forth is for the noble cultivation, and they will become a very good service, a very meritorious service for the society in the future. So I think with all this, I hope all parents who have children who are listening to this talk, do, I would say, share with them your joy when they share with you their inspiration or their aspiration and their initiative. So guide them and also support them. Rest assured, your journey in life too will be enriched and empowered to be more enlightening. Thank you.
Thank you, Venerable. There's another question. Probably we would like to hear what are challenges to becoming bhikkhunis today? Were the challenges same as when Buddha's period, when Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī also go forth? Are the challenges same? Are those more difficult comparing to today's condition? Would you kindly explain about that, Venerable? Thank you.
So, yeah, thank you so much for the question. I think it's relevant to ask this question too, right? I think just now my presentation has shown, yeah, for the Buddha to go forth also got challenges, right? And striving for 6 years, then he realized, yeah, the ultimate goal. For the bhikkhus too, also got challenges, yeah. And for the bhikkhunis, same got challenges, yeah. So ultimately is we have to reflect, yeah, like the Buddha said, one has to have a vision why you want to go forth, yeah. So it's not just to follow trend or whether to escapism sometimes, yeah. And we have to reflect our intention, yeah, our intention. So as a bhikkhuni, in the normal life, yeah, and in our society, I think a lot of people are still not very aware how this development. For example, in the present condition, a person who wish to what they call train themselves, yeah, for the higher ordination, have to go through, yeah, a few steps. Beginning, of course, as a layperson, it's always good to associate with the right teacher, meaning you also observe the teacher and to find that you're learning with them and the virtuous one, so that you can also be able to develop yourself, be guided. And if you find that your inclination towards full-time spiritual cultivation, then of course it's good to learn the Dhamma and to study, and also importantly is to practice the bhavana. So the virtue development, and then also learn to also offer your service while you are cultivating. And then it's good to stay with the teacher for some time so that the teacher can guide you and also feedback to you the qualities that you need to develop. So it's not just learning from the internet and thinking that we have a lot of knowledge, but probably it's just information. But when you stay with a teacher, then you'll find how, what you do, whether it's consistent or not. When you face adversity, how do you cope with it? Yeah. And when you go forth, there are higher things to cultivate. Yeah. In a home life, you also experience those challenges. In a monastic life, because you willingly wish to cultivate your spirituality, now the challenge is not from outside, it's actually from your own mind. Yeah. So you have to prepare for that training, and staying with a teacher will allow you. Yeah. So for example, now I think basically most of the teacher will train in this way. They may come as a layperson, just stay in the center for maybe 3 to 6 months, and they find suitable or they find the inclination, then they can apply to become an anagarika, to fully stay in the temple, stay with the teacher. Not say that I come in, I want to go out and see my family once in the blue moon, or not like that. So some people, they want to arrange their way. I come to the teacher, I want to stay 1 2 months, I want to go back, then I come back again. Then they think I'm staying with the teacher already. Not like that. So when you start your anagarika journey, stay with a teacher at least 1 year. Without thinking of going back home, because you think you want to go forth, but still you want to go back. So it means your feet are on both boats, so you are actually shaky. So if you wish, go for that period, 1 year, and then after that, if the teacher found is suitable, then of course they will encourage you to go forth, and you too are ready to go forth. So then you can take novice training when both sides sees that is a good potential for your development. So after 2 years as a novice, then again minimum 2 years. So if the teacher, bhikkhuni teacher or senior teacher found that you are able now to comprehend the Dhamma, you practice very well, your virtues develop very well, your knowledge and wisdom develop very well, then they will also help to provide the higher ordination. And in our era, the higher ordination is not just say that I want to go higher ordination, then I go. We need higher ordination. We need at least 5 eras and 5 carries. It's not like 1-to-1. And so we need to make that organize that platform for the higher ordination. And as we can see in our era, as bhikkhunis develop, now we have more and more Mahateris and Teris. So then they will organize for them to come together to make this international ordination for the bhikkhuni. And that's the time where the teacher will arrange for them to go for this higher ordination. So if a person practices well, be patient. Don't worry, because the development of mind helps you to discover the truth, and it's not because of the becoming, but because of that understanding of the Dhamma. And when the time comes, then that development can continue to develop as taking higher ordination means we are looking at higher morality. Means now they are taking 311 precepts, and this is where they refine their character further, their behavior, whether it's mental, speech, or bodily behavior. And this is also where the Buddha said higher ordination, upasampada, means what? Higher morality, higher mind, and higher wisdom. Yeah. So again, we look back, it's not to become. Yeah. Becoming is suffering. Yeah. We know that becoming is suffering. So it's the development, yeah, natural development of the mind. And from there, we can see then the Bhikkhuni Sangha will develop very steadily and will become a very good inspiration, yeah, and role model for more people to have faith and greater faith in the Buddha Dhamma and the Sangha. So these are the, development. And I think since 1996 to 1998, we are glad that the Bhikkhuni Sangha has revived. And now we are looking at the development, yeah, because now in the world we have more than 2,000 Bhikkhunis, and some have seminaries, and probably there will be another 2,000 in Sri Lanka. And in Thailand, now they have already more than 100. And in Vietnam, they have also about 50 and Bhikkhunis and seminaries. So different country, yeah, now is developing. So we can see even in Malaysia, we are a bit slow, but I think we are not too late. We are also trying to provide Malaysian women an opportunity, yeah, to also partake this merit to practice. And also one day, if they are suitable, then they can join us as the Bhikkhuni Sangha. So that's why we are preparing all this hardware, yeah, where we are also going to build a vihara. And this vihara will cater for the Bhikkhuni training, seminary training. And we are also dedicating the Sima. It's so important, a Sima, a Bhikkhuni Sima, so that in future, in Malaysia, we can have this Bhikkhuni ordination. So I hope that gives you all a perspective, yeah, of the journey of a Bhikkhuni. And along the way, that I say important is the practice. And the Mahatheras and the Bhikkhus. And I think if they see all the Bhikkhunis are practicing well, yeah, they are keeping their Dhamma Vinaya well, the support will be there. Yeah, so we hope that with the working of Bhikkhu, Bhikkhunis, Upasaka, Upasika, then this Dhamma will be continue to prolong for a long, long time. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Venerable. This statement come during your explanation. I don't have the name of the person who posted the notes, but this is what the statement stated. I want to become Bhikkhuni, but house and things is an obstruction right now. I wish to donate my house and things in-house to who that would like to run this as monastery in Dallas, United States. That's a statement. Venerable, would you like to comment on that or just pass the comment? Thank you.
Come again.
Okay, this is not a question, Venerable, but this is a statement. And I don't have the name of the person who stated this one. The statement stated like this: I want to become Bhikkhuni, but house and things is an abstraction right now. I wish to donate my house and things in-house to who that would like to run this as monastery in Dallas, United States.
Oh. So we can see her relation with the house, yeah, to become a Bhikkhuni, and she want to offer the place, yeah. And so, well, it's very good. I mean, you have the intention to offer the place, but it will be also depending on the merits, yeah, whether there's any Bhikkhunis that is taking it up, or rather than if you really wish to go forth, then go for the training properly, yeah. Then like I said, Bhikkhuni is not to become, just like from a layperson and suddenly become a Bhikkhuni, yeah. So that fast track may be too abrupt for some people to change their lifestyle and their old habit. So I think a gradual practice, like Buddha said, gradual learning, gradual practice, and gradual realization. I think that's the best way.
Thank you, Venerable. I just got the name. Her name is Niyada. I think it's a sister. Hopefully, I'm right. Thank you very much for the statement. So I would like to continue one more question that coming. Let's see. How the life of Bhikkhuni Sangha fit in the current society, Venerable? Is it more difficult or easier comparing when Buddha's life? Society may think that if many women goes ordination, will population decrease? Thank you, Venerable.
This was a question. Yeah, thank you for the question. It actually triggered me to recall in mind. Yeah, when one time in the past when I was still at Anagarika, and this particular person asked me the same question. Then I actually smilingly answer him. I say, if you look, because it was a conversation in a bus, so I asked him, I say, sir, if you look into this bus, how many actually in this bus can you see actually is a renunciant? Then he laughed, and the people surrounding him also smiled. Because why? Out of maybe 40 people, there's one. I said, maybe out of 10,000 people, maybe there's one. Or out of 100,000 people, maybe there's only one, right? I'm talking actually in the context of Malaysia, But if you maybe talk in the context of other country, there may be more, But not only bhikkhunis, but I think now in our society also, we can see that the choice, that women can make, to be single, it is also a way of life, And indeed, during the Buddha's time, I think we can see the Buddha talk about the four assembly, right? The bhikkhu, bhikkhuni, then upasaka, upasika. So upasaka, upasika is the one that wear white, and then they are celibate, they are celibate practitioner. And also we can see the mentioning of those who lead a household life, and female and also male, So they live a household life, but they practice the Dhamma. Okay, so this is also the way of how they can cultivate the mind. And when we have this group of people who cultivating, then it is possible that the development for their mind can be realized. And so it is not about just a family life, So it can be a person who are single, And it doesn't mean when we are single, then we will reduce the population of the world. If the population of the world continue to grow, and we can see now in the internet, and there are so many advertisements and showing that the children are going hungry, dying out of hunger, out of disease, out of this, then I think we have to think twice, We have to think twice. And so it's not about making more and more population and suffer more and more. But I think we need to train the mind to be wise and produce when there's a necessity, and when we are able to cater for them, when we have this loving kindness and compassion for the growth of this human, so that we are responsible with all the action that we do. So I think this is more important, So bhikkhuni won't make the world population less, and because we know that it's not a simple path, it needs a lot of cultivation, and to be celibate, is one of the way that sensual pleasure, the lust, can be actually forgo, and this is the most challenging part in the mind. And I think it's so important that the Buddha show us the way, and all the Bhikkhuni Sangha also show us the way. It's possible, and don't worry about the world population. I think what we need to worry is about whether we have the knowledge and wisdom to overcome birth, therefore we can overcome death. Thank you.
Thank you, Venerable. I think that's all the question that's coming to this session. As a moderator, I was assigned to make a conclusion, but it's very, very difficult for me actually, Venerable. But I I write down for 5 things that important. Probably that's a lesson that I learned most. The first one is about Venerable mentioned actually about Aditana of Prince Siddhartha Gautama. Admirable goal to find the cure of all suffering. And then finally, Siddhartha Gautama attained the goal, becoming Buddha with so much perseverance. But then he continued to perform mission of Buddha Sasana. This is the important message that you said. Through the Sangha for the benefit and happiness of all beings. And then Buddha kept giving example to his disciples by teaching by example. Nurturing effects has been done for 45 years. And the importance of Sangha, Bhikkhu and Bhikkhunis, to prolong the Dhamma. I think that's why the core of the message of what you're talking today, so that us as a lay people, I think it's very, very important to support the Sangha, 4 pillars, so that we as the lay people also can benefit from the existence of the Sangha Bhikkhuni, Sangha Bhikkhu, to teach us and show us the way for the liberation from our suffering. I know that I missed a lot of things, Venerable, but hopefully that's a bit conclusion that very important for audience. If you would like to add some part of the conclusion or something like that, please, Venerable.
I think it's good enough, Upasika Megawati. Those are the key for our continued practice. And
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Venerable, and also thank you for all the audience who participate and provide with the questions. So I think it is the time for accepting blessing from Bhikkhuni Sumanggala to all who are present and also to share the merits of this inaugural assembly. The Venerable Bhikkhuni Sumanggala, we would like to be blessed with your kind blessing. Please, thank you.
Thank you, Upasika Megawati. So to all venerables and all our Dhamma brothers and sisters, let us rejoice with this assembly and to receive the blessings of the Triple Gem for everyone's well-being. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena saraswati bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena saraswati bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakantu sabba devata sabba sanganubhavena saraswati bhavantu te. By the power and blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, and with all your good merits and protection from the Devas, may all your noble aspirations be fulfilled soon. May your family be blessed with good health, prosperity, and peace, and continue to grow in the Dhamma and realize the bliss of awakening at the earliest opportunity. May this merit continue to pave way for you to grow in strength and in a confidence in the Triple Gem, and in all your right effort to abandon what is unwholesome and unskillful, and to cultivate all the virtues and all the wholesome states, and to also cultivate the higher knowledge and wisdom, so be able to penetrate into the profound Dhamma that leads to the ultimate liberation. So we have come together to perform this merit, especially all the good work experiences, and we also dedicate this merit to all our Mahatheras and Mahatheris in our country or in the world, and to all our Dhamma teachers, to all our spiritual companions in Dhamma, and to all our supporters for the four requisites, and to all who are near and far. May all beings be free from danger, be free from harm, and be free from fear. And may all beings be well, safe, and happy. So we also send our heartfelt thanks to all our well-wishers and benefactors, and also for their benevolent and kind-hearted support and assistance. And we also present our sincerest regards to all the well-wishers and devotees for all your support for the activities of the UTBSI. So may all this merit continue to bring you joy and happiness in developing your mind and to one day realize the ultimate Nibbana. We also share this merit with all the Devas. May they too rejoice in this merit and continue to protect your well-being and safety. And may all beings in the world be free from the calamities, from the difficulties, and also from the sickness. And may our country and the world be stable and be in harmony. And may our rulers rule and lead righteously, wisely, and compassionately. And may there be due season for good weather and good harvest again. And may all beings find peace. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you.
Thank you, the Venerable Bhikkhuni Sumanggala. May all beings happy, liberated from all suffering, and may all of us advancing in Dhamma knowledge and practice such that we may realize Nibbana as soon as possible. The Venerable Bhikkhus and Bhikkhunis, the Honorable, the leaders of Buddhist organization and Buddhist society, distinguished audiences attending this important event. I think now this is the time for closing the program. So I would like to express sincere gratitude for your participation in this important event. May the program bring us happiness, peace, and motivation to keep learning and practicing Dhamma such that we may realize Nibbana one day. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I give the stage and floor to the organizing committee if there is any more if there is any some information that we'll provide it for tomorrow session. If there is none, then I think it's time for us to close the program. Thank you again for attending this important session. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. you, Venerable. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ayah Santini.
Thank you, Upasika Megawati.